Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raise Your Bars podcast. I'm Al Ruttan.
And I'm Chris Baker.
Hey, and Chris, today we're going to talk about kickstarting your leadership year.
That's right. We're diving into why intentional growth matters and giving you some practical tools to help you grow as a leader starting right now.
And Chris, I love this topic so much because it's January, right? And everybody's fired up. Gym memberships are through the roof.
Well, for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So, how do we make sure that our leadership growth doesn't end up like that abandoned treadmill in the basement, or like mine became the clothes dryer?
Yeah, mine's abandoned in the garage, so
Yeah.
we've got that too. So next to the stationary bike,
Yeah.
and what Al, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So let me start with a question for our listeners. What's the difference between a leader with 20 years of experience and a leader with 1 year of experience repeated 20 times?
Hmm. I would say intentionality.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole ball game, really. See,
Hmm.
most people don't plan to fail as leaders. What they do is they fail to plan.
Yeah.
They assume that showing up every day and doing the work will automatically make them better.
And you know what? It just doesn't work that way, Chris.
No, not even close, Alan. Think about it like this. Your golf swing doesn't improve just by playing more rounds. You have to be intentional, identifying weaknesses, getting coaching, practicing specific skills.
So what you're saying is hope is not a strategy, really.
Absolutely not. Now, don't get me wrong, hope is a beautiful thing, but it's a terrible business plan.
Hmm.
And here's the good news: small improvements do compound. John Maxwell calls it the law of process. Leadership develops daily, not in a day.
Yeah, and that's really is so good, Chris. Why don't you break that down for us?
Well, sure. I mean, if you just get 1% better at something every day, that doesn't sound like much, right? But over a year, it compounds dramatically. It's not just 365% better, it's exponentially better because each improvement is building on the last.
And sadly, Chris, the flip side about this is also true, right? If you're standing still,
Well, you're not actually standing still, right? You're actually falling behind.
yeah.
The world keeps moving, your industry keeps changing, your team keeps growing, or the team, even worse, they'll leave to find a leader who will help them grow better than you are.
Yeah, and here's the reality, and I've learned this, 30 plus years in leadership, you cannot give what you do not have. So if you're not growing, you're not going to be able to grow your people either.
Yeah, that's a mic drop right there, Al. Really,
Yeah.
so it's the gold, it's the truth.
Absolutely. And your team is watching your growth or your lack of it. It sets the
Mhm.
ceiling for theirs. When we talk about intentional growth, we're not just talking about self-improvement for its own sake. We're talking about your responsibility to the people you lead.
Yeah, and it's so true. And so we've established the why, but let's talk about the how. Al, how do we actually set leadership goals that work?
Well, this is where most people get it wrong, Chris. They set vague goals like, "Oh, be a better leader" or "communicate more
Mm,
effectively," and those sound great.
but they don't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
How do you even measure that? Be a better leader. What's the measurement for it? You can't.
Can't exactly. So here's what I want everyone. Here's where I want you to start here, right? Do a self-assessment, and I don't mean
Mm,
sitting alone and thinking about your strengths. I mean asking the people around you.
yeah, that takes some courage, though.
It does, but try this. Go to two or three people you trust. It could be a colleague, a team member, your spouse, and ask them one simple question: What's one thing I could do better as a leader? And then be quiet and listen.
Yeah, and the key here, the difficult thing is don't get defensive.
It's so hard
Don't
not to,
start to
right?
explain. Yeah, don't explain why you do it that way. Or don't try and justify. Just listen and say thank you. Right? You'll be amazed at what you learn. Now, I've tried this last year and it was uncomfortable, but it was gold.
Yeah, okay. So once you have that feedback though, then what do you do with it?
Well, then you got to get specific, right? So instead of just saying, I want to be a better communicator, Try saying something like, I will have one meaningful one-on-one conversation with each team member every week. See the
That's good.
difference. You know,
That's
so
good.
that's measurable, that's
Yes.
actionable,
Hmm.
and you can put that on your calendar and you can track it.
And that ties into what we teach with the bars method, right?
Absolutely. You know, your behaviors plus your actions multiplied by your results equal your level of success.
Hmm.
So your goals have to drive specific behaviors and actions. Otherwise, they're just wishes.
Just wishes. Nothing but a wish and a
Yeah.
dream, right?
Right.
So where should people focus? There's really so many areas of leadership.
Yeah, there are. And it can get complicated, but let's think about it in three domains, right?
Hmm.
First of all, is leading yourself. That's your character, your discipline, your own emotional intelligence.
Yeah, and Chris, I would say probably second is leading others, right? That's your communication,
Mhm.
your delegating, your developing of your people.
Right. And then third, but not least, is leading your organization. You know, whether that's a business, a ministry, a department, that's your vision, your
Hmm.
strategy, and your systems.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you don't try to tackle all three at once, right?
Absolutely not.
It'd be a
Yeah.
little bit
Uh,
overwhelming, wouldn't it?
yeah, well, it's a recipe for burnout, right? And
Yeah.
ultimately failure. So pick one. Ask yourself, what is the one area that would create the biggest ripple effect for you or your organization right now?
Yeah, if you chase two rabbits, you catch neither, right? Focus on the one thing
Yep.
that matters most right now. And I think you probably already know, just while we're talking, what that one area is.
Yeah. I love that. All right. So, you know, we've got a goal. Now, how do we actually make it happen day after day?
And this is where the rubber meets the roads, folks. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Willpower is not enough.
It's not, but tell me more about that. Tell us about that, Al.
Well, willpower is a depleting resource. It's like a battery that drains throughout the day. You wake up with a full charge, and every decision, every temptation, every challenge drains it a little bit more. And by the end of the day, you're running on empty. Maybe that's why I go back for the second piece of cheesecake for dessert at supper time. I'm running on
Probably.
empty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we make bad decisions at night, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's when the ice cream gets eaten, the Netflix binge happens, and the workouts get skipped.
Exactly. But here's the key, folks. Leaders don't rise to the level of their goals. They fall to the level of their systems, their
Oh,
habits.
yeah. It's so true, and that's gold. And I want people to like really think about that, you know. And I
Hmm.
heard it put this way: you don't decide your future, you decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. I think it was John Maxwell that actually said that, and that hit
Yeah.
me hard when I first heard it.
Chris, I want to sidebar on this for a minute because that is so true. And I think that comes back to, and we've mentioned before, those if the habits are not correct, you're going to
Mhm.
end up drifting into your future versus walking intentionally into your future.
Yeah,
Am I on the
and
right track there? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
yeah, I mean, look at it again. We can put it in the bars formula, right? If your
Hmm.
behaviors and your actions are poor, your results are going to be poor, and therefore
Yeah.
your level of success is going to be poor,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And but
Of
if
course.
and if you intentionally work on your behaviors and your habits, sorry, behaviors and your actions, which ultimately are habits,
Yes.
your results will get better, and so will your level of success.
Yeah.
And if you
That's
think
good.
about habits, we all have habits.
Yeah.
All
Some
right,
good, some
we
bad.
all have habits. If they're unintentional habits, they're generally the bad habits,
Hmm.
right? The good habits we have to be intentional about. Why? Because it's usually painful to start doing it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So we have to be intentional to work through that pain to get the results at the end of it. If we're not,
Absolutely.
what we do is the pain. If the pain is greater than the pleasure of doing nothing, right?
Hmm.
We'll end up doing nothing.
Exactly.
And then we complain and we blame circumstances, or we blame the economy, or we blame the government, or we blame somebody else, right? It's
Yeah.
never our own fault.
Never our fault.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah.
what habit should leaders be focusing on?
Well, I like to think of it again, and my mind works with simple frameworks, right? So first of all, think daily, think weekly, think monthly, break it down.
Hmm.
You know, daily spend 15 minutes on intentional learning, whatever that is. Could be reading a chapter of a leadership book, maybe listen to part of a podcast, maybe even this one.
There you go.
Reflect on your day and what you've learned. It's just 15 minutes. Everybody can find 15 minutes in a day.
And that's totally doable for anyone with any schedule.
100%.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is weekly is review your calendar and against your priorities. Are they aligned? Right? Did you spend time on what actually matters, or did you just react to whatever came at you?
Yeah, and if I could throw in there, remember John said this, we've mentioned it in the past, is that you can't manage your time, but you can manage your priorities. And I think that's why
Exactly.
using your calendar is a great way to do that. Where were your
Yeah.
priorities? And then what about monthly, Chris?
Well, monthly is a similar thing. Evaluate your progress, right? Adjust your course. And here's one that people forget, right? Make sure that you celebrate your wins.
That's so good, but go a little bit deeper on that one. Why is it so important that we celebrate? Because this is important.
It is. And if you think about it, leadership is hard.
Hmm.
Growth is hard. We're moving people outside of their comfort zone, therefore it's uncomfortable, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
and if you never acknowledge progress, what happens is you'll burn out. And
Hmm.
your brain needs those wins to stay motivated, keep you inspired for doing more and keeping moving forward.
That's so good. So let me ask you, how do we make these habits stick? Because just like we said at the top, the gym is full in January, and then, by mid-February, it's empty again.
Yeah. Well, again, a few things, right? First of all, start small. That I think is where a lot of people go wrong, right? They
Hmm.
try and boil the ocean and then they go, this isn't working, so they quit.
Yes.
Right? But start small. Don't commit to an hour of reading. Commit to 5 minutes, first of all. Right?
Hmm.
Remember that 5 minutes is still better than 0 minutes. And what you're doing is you're building momentum.
Yeah. Lower the bar to raise the consistency, right? If we could do that, lower the
Exactly.
bar to raise the consistency.
Yep. The second thing I would say is make sure you attach these new habits to your existing routines. And what I mean by that is that say after your morning coffee, you're going to read for 5 minutes. All right. So the trigger is your coffee.
Hmm.
Most people have a cup. I don't. I have a cup of tea in the morning, but a cup of tea or cup of coffee, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's your trigger. So, okay, I'm having my cup of coffee. Well, that means that next I've got to do my new behavior, which is the reading,
Yeah. And that's so good. And third,
right?
and this one's huge. We need to build in accountability. Tell someone your goal and
Hmm.
track it somewhere visible.
Yep, 100%.
Hmm.
And here's the big one, right? Plan for failure.
Okay, okay. Nobody likes talking about failure. Walk me through this. What do you mean?
Well, here's the truth, right, Al? When you're doing this, you're going to miss a day, right? Life happens.
Hmm.
And the key is this: never miss it twice.
That's so
Right?
good.
Missed one day, fine. Get back on track tomorrow. Missed 2 days, and you're starting to build a new habit, the habit of not doing it. Now,
Yeah.
again, if you think about this, when we first met, what were we studying?
Think and grow rich.
Think and Grow
Persistence.
Rich. And what was our first 14 days? What did we
Oh,
have to do?
we had to read the chapter of persistence every day before midnight. And if we didn't, this is on the honor system, we had to go back and start again, Chris. And I'll tell you, there were some days, 20 to 12 at night, I'd be like straight up in bed
Yeah.
going, oh my goodness, I forgot to read. And I would pull out that book and read till midnight just to get it
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. But we did it,
Yeah.
right? We
We did it.
created that habit. We
Absolutely.
avoided the habit of not doing it.
Exactly. So one thing I want to get about this is this isn't about perfection, folks. It's not about being
No,
perfect.
perfection doesn't exist, Al, right?
Exactly.
And that's I tell all my training classes there, they talk about perfection. I say I'm a recovering perfectionist. I used to
Hmm.
want perfection. But then as soon as I got into personal growth and development and I realized that what we should always be looking for is continuous improvement,
Hmm.
and I strive for excellence
Yeah.
rather than perfection.
Chris, I
It's
have to be
it's
honest with
about
you. I steal your quote about that all the time. I always say a good friend of mine or my business partner always says, you can't reach perfection, but you can strive for excellence. So I do borrow
exactly.
that all the time.
Yeah. And it's about consistency, Al.
Hmm.
The bottom line is champions don't do extraordinary things. What they do is they do the ordinary things extraordinarily well, consistently. day after day after day after day.
Man, that is so good, Chris. So, so good.
Yeah. Again, it's not simple. Sorry, it's simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
It's
so
discipline. Discipline.
let's land this plane.
Yeah,
Let's land
for
this
sure.
plane, right?
Yeah.
Here's a challenge for this week. Just one thing.
Just one thing,
Yeah.
folks.
Pick one leadership habit to start or restart this week,
Hmm.
right? Maybe it's that 15 minutes of daily reading. Maybe it's a weekly one on one with your team. Maybe it's asking someone for honest feedback.
And here it is, folks. Whatever it is, write it down, tell someone, and put it in your calendar.
Yeah, or put it in the comments down below. All right,
Hmm.
in the YouTube if you're watching YouTube, or go to our Facebook page and raise your bars, personal growth, and put something on there.
Yeah,
And
please.
remember that small hinges swing big doors.
Yeah, that one habit could be the thing that changes everything for you this year, for your organization, for your company.
Yeah, 100%. So here's a few questions to reflect on before our next episode.
Yeah, number one, what's the one area where you've been coasting as a leader? Ooh, that could be painful, but answer it honestly. You're the only one that's going
Yeah,
to know. Well, honestly, your team
yeah.
probably knows, but you're going to tell
Yeah,
you're going to answer for yourself.
reality that there's probably more than one, but
Yeah.
what's
What's one?
one that
What's one?
you really want to focus on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 2 is who could hold you accountable for your growth goals. Now, again, let's just get this straight before this. The only person that is accountable is you,
Hmm.
right? When we're asking to say who will hold you accountable, you're not accountable to them, you're accountable to yourself. They're just going to be
Right.
asking the question, hey, how are you getting on with those growth goals?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That's so good. And number three, what will you do tomorrow? Not next week, tomorrow to start building momentum.
Yeah. Don't overthink it. Just start.
Yeah, that's so good. Everybody, thanks for joining us today.
Reflect on what you've learned and take that one action this week to apply it.
And honestly, sincerely, we would love to hear what habit you're committing to. Reach out and let us know. Like Chris said, comments on the YouTube channel. Go over to Facebook to Raise Your Bars Personal Growth Solutions group. Join it. It's free. Leave your comment make a post there and leave your comment there, or reach out to
Mm,
us on our social media channels.
yeah. And listen, if this episode helped you, share it with another leader who needs to hear it.
Yeah, for sure. Please do. And if you are a business owner and you're looking to improve or to measure your culture with your organization to get a realistic live dashboard to show you where your culture is, what your team actually thinks about your culture and your organization, then reach out to us. We've got our culture impact scorecard. And if you're a business owner looking to increase your bottom line profits in 2026 and beyond, then we've also got a profit assessment we would love to do with you on your business and organization. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.